Hi everyone, we're the Film Scholars. I'm Asad, here with my co-hosts Fahad and Hamza. Today we're discussing the trailer for the next 5 years of DC films, also known as Batman vs Superman. So I guess we'll try and find the good points. Fahad, do you want to help me out here?
Yeah, I mean, look, you know what? Obviously, overwhelming majority of critics have said the film's pretty crap. But, there were some gems in there. I just want to say, when I watched this film in the cinema, I was actually really impressed. Like, I was really happy. I thought, this is really good. Batman vs Superman. But then afterwards, I came to the realization that I think there was a lot of play on
Nostalgia. I felt the same thing when I watched it. I thought, hey, this is pretty decent. I don't understand. And then I went away and I was like, you know what? That wasn't very good. Let me watch the extended edition. I'm sure it'll be better. And then I was like, you know what? It's pretty much the same film.
Well, you watched the extended one.
I have watched the extended one,
Okay.
and the film made slightly more sense, but it was not a better film.
Okay.
And they cut out some really important stuff, which made no sense why they cut out from the film. I was like, why did you cut
Hamza,
out?
what are your thoughts on the film?
Okay, so I thought it was amazing. I mean, I'm one of the few people that think I'm in the minority here. I thought it was brilliant.
Do you think it's because, like, growing up, you watching Batman on TV, the animated series, Superman,
It's just so good to see Batman and Superman on screen
the
together.
comic books.
Yeah, I'd say for me, that's hit the nail on the head. For me, it's just I just finally got to see Batman and Superman in the same film together, fight each other, and then fight a common enemy. So for me, that was it. That's all I needed.
I felt the Batman and Superman dynamic was done better in an animated film called The Dark Knight Returns. If they had followed that,
Have you guys seen?
have you seen The Dark Knight Returns?
No,
It's
I haven't
animated
seen
film.
that one.
It is
No.
very, from a critical point of view, it's very, very
Sorry,
good.
is that the one where Green Lantern and Batman fight against?
No,
Superman?
that's a different one.
Okay.
This is the one where Batman is a bit older.
He's using the big suit, the thick suit.
He's retired.
Yeah. And
The big metal suit is kind of like a homage to that scene, and they took a lot of things.
See, the
from
thing
that.
is, when the film was coming out, I watched that the animated show,
And I thought if they turn this into a film, this will be perfect.
That's what I thought Batman vs Superman was gonna be like, even slightly. But I feel like the trailers leak too much. They already told you Darkseid's in there.
There was a winning. They had a winning formula, and Zack Snyder was like, "Well, forget this. I'm gonna make 300 again."
No, but I don't know, man. Like,
It's the problem with the film is it's spectacle. It's
Hold
not.
on,
It's good.
man.
What?
You go hold on. We're supposed to talk about the positives.
Okay, the
first.
positives. I really like the first. Zack Snyder is very good at visual style. The opening montage scene of the death of Bruce Wayne's parents was done really well.
Yeah, and I think it was partially because the other three Batman films had just come out. I think they were directed by Christopher Nolan. Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
And people were already well aware of how Batman becomes Batman and his parents' death.
But he kept it a little bit fresh.
I think
like that.
that's the reason it worked well, because I think if this film had come out by itself like 20 years later, just having a 5-minute scene, but because we just seen Batman do all this fighting, we thought, yep, this is a good capture, captures everything. And I thought another scene that was quite good, well done right at the start as well, is when they go into the scenes at the end of Man of Steel, where Superman is fighting Zod in, I think, the Metropolis.
Oh yes, that was one of the best scenes where you see from
Batman's
Bruce Wayne's point of view of what it's like. Yes, that was very done really
that
well.
scene showed the power difference, where like Superman, like when you watch Man of Steel, you were watching two people equal go toe to toe.
Yeah, and it was like from the point of view of Superman. But when you saw that, you saw it from the point of view of the humans, of why
Batman,
Superman
he
is so
just
scary.
levels. Yeah, he levels the city.
The thing is, they never developed on that. That was gold, but they just.
I think they did. For me, that was the whole thing where Batman felt weak, so he became cruel.
But
I think they never developed
from that scene, Batman sees Superman as this giant threat. But as you watch the film, you see Superman, and he's like, "Oh, let me save these people over there. Oh, let me save these people over there."
I mean, I didn't want to talk about it until the bad parts, but one of the things I found very difficult is the character motivation. I couldn't understand why Batman didn't like Superman so much, and
why Superman didn't like Batman.
Yeah, why Superman didn't like Batman. Apparently, you mentioned there's like one scene where Batman brands people.
It's in the extended edition.
Oh, is that why?
Yes.
No. It was in the original one as well.
He brands them. but the branded criminals get killed.
No, but they mention it
in the extended edition. You see that happening.
They do mention that the branding is a death sentence in the prison.
Yeah, so they mention it, but it's like it doesn't really hit home.
Who did they get killed by then?
The other criminals.
What's the reason?
Because they've been branded.
Yeah, there you go. See, here's the questions that come.
Okay, the question. You don't understand.
I knew they branded him. I'm trying to jog my memory. I think I can't remember.
I didn't understand why either. Why was Batman branding? Why are criminals gonna think that?
No, to be fair, they didn't make it that clear. You're right. Yeah.
What I mean, if you think about it logically, Batman just branded a criminal. And you as another criminal,
why are you gonna kill this guy?
This guy's probably your ally.
Yes, the problem is Ben Affleck's first appearance as Batman. You can't do it in a combined film. You see,
but you know what? You say that, but I thought the portrayal of
I like Affleck
was very good.
I like Affleck.
I mean, everyone was worried. You must have seen the memes of a Daredevil. One of the worst comic book films ever. Everyone thought I
saw Affleck in Gone Girl and I thought he can do it.
But don't you think that whenever you think, okay, it's a superhero genre, this is going to be Daredevil all over again. Ben Affleck, out of shape, crap acting. But you know what? He did exactly opposite that. He got really hench and he did it really well. And he even steals the show in Suicide Squad, another one of DC's crap films. Like he did steal the show. He's in that film for like 5 minutes. But you can't have Batman in a film without Batman being the main
part of the film. Same as Joker. Okay, we won't talk about Suicide Squad right now because if any DC film is worse than Batman vs Superman, it's Suicide Squad, and it deserves its own.
Guys, I'm just gonna say I like Suicide Squad. I just want to say, all right, we're not going into that now.
Guys, 1 second. We're gonna have to fight. We're gonna have to fight Hamza now.
Because I'm your average Joe. I'm your average Joe. So you know.
Let's not talk about. Let's try not to talk about.
Another positive was the action scenes in Batman vs Superman. I'm talking about now Batman fight scenes and the car scenes.
The Batman fight scene at the end was really, really well done. I did not like the Superman fight scenes because Superman smash. Oh, you're firing bullets at me. I'm invulnerable. I mean, that's the problem with writing for Superman is there's never any fear of threat, whereas Batman is flesh and blood human and he could get injured.
Even that car chase scene, I thought the action part of it was very good.
Zack Snyder's always been very good at action. I mean, he used to direct trailers, and if you see the fight scenes in 300, they are very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't there one of the fight scenes that happens? The main fight between Batman and Superman. Did you think that was... I thought that was quite well done.
That was okay, but I felt that the Batman versus the bad guys fight scene at the end really upstaged it.
Yeah.
And I thought the fight scene at the end was pretty poor.
I was going to ask you...
Really? Wow. What's the reason for that?
I was bored.
You were bored? There was fireworks going off.
I know, it was just like...
You know, I think one of the reasons why you felt like that is you just saw this Batman versus Superman fight scene and the conclusion is Batman wins. So I think emotionally you're like quite tired and you think there needs to be something else. It needs to be something else. But then straight away after that, it jumps into another fight scene of a super monster versus Superman. And
this super monster, he's kind of like came out of nowhere. So he doesn't hold any emotional weight or value. It's just like the generic monster. It's really powerful. It's going to kill everybody.
That's true.
I think people didn't understand it was Doomsday and what Doomsday represent unless you had read those comic books.
But the problem is that film is a medium on its own, and you can't say, "Oh, you don't understand the film because you didn't read the comics." Well, that's the entire point of film. I shouldn't have to read outside sources. I don't have to read outside.
And I think that's where one of the really bad points of this film is a lot of non-comic book readers really found it difficult to understand what the heck was going on. Who is this guy? Who is this random woman coming in here? Is she super powerful? You know, what's this about? So I think there was too much going on. I think that's all the positives I have. Is there any positives you got left?
I added that they had great visual spectacle, the montage. But then again, I can turn those into negatives as well because the visual spectacle.
Maybe there was too much of those montages.
They got tiring. They got tiring to watch. The first one is fine, but he really, really overused them. I feel that Zack Snyder can only do one type of film, and that's like 300.
Isn't he doing Justice League as well?
I don't know, and he seems to keep doing them again and again. I mean, no, people don't like Watchmen, but that's not his story. It's just an adaptation. Remember?
I like Watchmen.
It was a bit of a weird film. It is a weird film, but it's a weird comic then as well. So
yeah, I've not seen Watchmen, so I can't
it's quite a long film.
You probably won't like it.
A lot of people didn't like it.
Okay, my first biggest problem with Batman vs Superman, the entire film is a giant trailer, and it's not even subtle. The entire film is a trailer for the Justice League.
You mean that scene where for 5 seconds you see Wonder Woman plug in the CD and then you get... Ooh,
No. I haven't even got to that yet. I haven't got to that yet. The entire film builds up to the last scene where you see Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. I mean, Wonder Woman's character is entirely superfluous. Go on.
No, it's carry on.
Wonder Woman's character is entirely superfluous. She does absolutely nothing in the film apart from fight in the last scene. And the last scene is like, hey, wouldn't it be cool to see these guys in their old filthy ass? We're coming soon to a film theater near you, the Justice League.
And then Superman, Wonder Woman's coming out. I think.
No. We're getting to that yet. Then Superman dies. It carries no emotional weight. Zack Snyder goes, guys, you really should feel sad. I know what, 10-minute funeral scene. But if anyone actually thought Superman was died, don't worry. Zack Snyder
you know the funny
shattered your dreams by making the ground fly up.
You know, one of the funny things is they actually mention that in the film where they say they don't know how to mourn him, so they're mourning him like a soldier. Well, Zach, you don't know how to mourn him either because you just did a crap funeral scene. But yeah,
and anyway, and then
going back to
the trailers. Then there are 4 YouTube trailers inside the film. Like when Marvel after the credit scenes. So what Marvel used to do is they used to hit the next film. You watch the film, and at the end of the film, there's like a 10-second teaser, 30 seconds teaser. It's at the end. It doesn't disrupt the flow of the film. But in this one, there's 5 minutes of the next 4 films of DC. Hey, do you want to see DC Wonder Woman's backstory? Don't worry, we got that covered.
Here's a picture of her.
I find that really exciting though, for me personally, when I watched it. Yeah.
It's insulting. It's like, you guys are morons watching my films. It's like, I've done trailers so much, my entire film is a trailer. And let's talk about the alternate future scene. So we watched the trailers and you saw this alternate crazy future scene where Batman is the bad guy and you were like, whoa.
No, Batman's the bad guy.
Superman's the bad guy and you're like, whoa, this film is going to be crazy. Only to find out that it's a hastily added in dream sequence.
Wait, you missed off a key detail. It's a double
dream sequence. So the first dream sequence is
I like the action in that scene.
The scene was good, but it was there purely to put in the trailer and sell the sell the current film.
I feel like if it was that's true. I feel like if it was a dream by itself, it was trying to sell Batman's paranoia. Don't get me wrong, nothing else in the film actually hinted to that. Yeah. That's what I think. I think Snyder was trying to get across that Batman was really paranoid and worried about Superman going crazy, but none of the rest of the film doesn't back that up.
I know that's
they
right.
literally have Superman as a godlike figure
saving the world. Space. I call him Space Jesus.
Yeah, he's
Space Jesus.
In fact, when he dies like in a crucifix position. He dies for the sins of humanity.
Don't they drape him in a cloth as well? I think they.
Are we going back to Jesus, lads?
Every almost majority of films are either
he
a
gets draped
story.
in his flag as well.
Yeah. He dies with his arms outstretched. He literally, and I believe there's a crucifix as well in the background scene.
Is there?
There's a crucifix above him. You'll have to watch that again. I'm pretty sure there is.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, going back to that dream scene. So first they have the dream scene. It has some good action. You're like quite confused
as to what's going on.
Okay, wakes in a dream. You might think, okay, this is Batman's
paranoia.
But no, this is not enough. Let's have another dream.
The
future Flash coming back saying, oh, watch out. You know what? That scene was terrible because I couldn't even make out what the Flash was saying.
It was very difficult to hear what he's saying.
Did you hear what the Flash was saying?
Did he say go back or something?
He said it's Lois.
I thought he said
all about her.
Don't trust him or something like that. That's what I'm saying.
He said something about Lois and it's
basically
it's in reference to the Injustice universe where Lois dies. See, you gotta be a comic book guy to know what the hell's going on.
I've actually played the game, so I know what that.
When Lois dies, and Superman becomes evil in an alternate universe, basically.
But then, no, that wasn't real either. That was a dream. So now I think once it was when you get a double dream, it's like too much. It's like.
Okay, I felt that this film had no soul. There was no scenes. It was moments of the scenes. It never felt that Clark Kent worked in the Daily Planet because. Oh, did any work? The Batcave wasn't a place either. He's like, whenever he's in the Daily Planet, it cuts in. I mean, there's less than 5 minutes of screen time in the Daily Planet, I believe, in a 2-hour film.
No, but it's not just that. I think the whole Lois and Clark, their scenes were terrible. And Lois in the film...
They were very forced. They were like, hey guys, Superman really loves Lois, and this is the reason why it saves everybody.
I think what they were trying to get across thinking about it is just trying to show Superman's a human. He's like everybody else. He has a girlfriend.
Yes, that's exactly what they were going for. But that is what they were going for.
It didn't come across very well.
Let's talk about another weak part of the plot apart from Lois. Jesse Eisenberg playing Jesse Eisenberg.
The weak part, that is the worst part.
He was terrible. And I know some people have said, he was only playing what Zack Snyder told him to play. Come on, man, you got a brain cell.
He was playing Jesse Eisenberg.
This is what I mean, they didn't respect the source material. Lex Luthor is supposed to be this cunning guy that is like, he had no motivations for hating Superman or pitting them against each other. He didn't seem particularly genius because he got his goons to use bullets that were special bullets, easily identifiable. Back to Luthor, back to LexCorp. I mean, come on.
Maybe you wanted them to know.
Yeah, but why?
Also, did you think one of the worst scenes, that scene where, I don't know, I think it's some senator is asking Lex what he wants, and he makes 3 demands.
Yeah.
And, like, I didn't understand why the senator gave in, and then what the significance of the candy was.
It's the power. It's like they were showing Luther's so powerful.
Yeah, but
he can ask whatever he wants for, and he can play basketball really good.
Also, you know, and then he's there like Terry, and he forces his man.
It's like, you know, in the original like comics and stuff, like Luther would be playing chess and then learning a language at the same time. Well, in this one, he's playing basketball and negotiating with senators. Yeah. So like his character doesn't come across completely.
You know what? Superman,
like a B-Tech version of
this.
Exactly.
You can't moan too much about this next point I wanted to make around Superman not cleaning up the world engine that destroyed. You know, not getting rid of the part, not cleaning up the spaceship that crash landed. Even though in the Man of Steel film, he talks about humans being dangerous. And the technology.
But he gave them advanced access to Kryptonian technology.
And he's like, should I pick that spaceship? No, I want to be with my girlfriend Lois. She's hot.
There's a giant alien spaceship with a potential capacity to destroy Earth. I'm sure the US government is fairly good enough to handle this.
2 minutes ago I didn't trust them, but now I'm okay with it. Should I pick up Zod's body? Nah, you can't bother.
I mean, I just destroyed a $10 million drone because I didn't like them following me. But I'm sure they'll do okay with that. It's mostly destroyed, right? Despite the fact that technology
is thousands of years. The reason you can't moan at it too much is that same story does come up in the comic books a lot. They always leave stuff around. And even other like, I think Marvel does it as well, where there's like a really super thing. And you know, any common person thinks, that thing's probably dangerous. I should get rid of it or something.
Yeah, okay. Going back to there was no great scenes. The closest thing I feel to a scene in the film was Lois and Clark's bath scene. You know, when he jumps in, thingy.
Wait a minute. You just like that because Lois was, you know.
No, I'm saying it's the closest thing to feeling like you know when a great scene is when you feel that this could happen in real life. Like the camera strips away. I felt this was almost there. Like the best examples I could describe is it the Avengers in the farm scene? Which one was that?
Oh yeah, Age of Ultron.
It's Age of Ultron. The farm scene is brilliant. It's like that they could actually be living there. Or a more contemporary film, even closer, is the Logan, the farm dinner scene. One of the best scenes that I have seen.
Which one was that? Sorry,
the farm dinner scene.
I think that was
Logan.
Yes.
You know where
I thought that was absolutely brilliant.
Out and then they go to have like dinner.
That was like the cameras like felt like they dissolved away.
I forgot. I'm not gonna lie.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
It was like one of that's pretty much the aim of cinema. When you have a scene like that, when you can believe that this is actually happening, when the TV screen
but
almost
melts away. You know, that was the only scene that showed Clark as a kind of a human, and then in other scenes he's going around saving the world.
I felt Clark that was like he was like, damn pesky humans, I have to save them again.
Yeah, one thing. I think this is the biggest failing of the film. Totally is because it's directly to the title. Is in the last fight scene or when this building up this big rivalry. I found it difficult for myself to know who to support. And, you know, it wasn't because, like, if you do it in a really good way, a person has conflicting emotions
for both.
I think that's what they were trying to get to. But I didn't understand why Batman hated Superman.
There's no character. They didn't convey character motivations.
You mentioned, I think in the extended edition, they do something to kind of show you slightly.
A little bit, the branding thing. And it's like...
The branding, isn't it something about... I think when Superman saves Lois, they come.
His Luther's guys use flamethrowers to burn the bodies, so it looks like Superman lasered them all.
Yeah, they didn't get that across the board.
Okay.
I felt Batman's character was like they use a lot of they use a lot of exposition. Like, you're getting old now. You aren't the same guy that you used to be, but it's never explained why.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's that Robin suit and it's sprayed on.
Yeah, you were talking about this to me where I think it's been built up about Batman that he doesn't kill anyone.
The core in the comics and in the source material, Batman does not kill. This is the core defining belief, not his gadgets or anything else. If Batman kills, that's the Punisher. So for Batman to go into a dark moral area, you have to have a reasoning, really good reasoning.
You have to show that reasoning. Yeah, you're right.
You have to. Yeah.
I mean, Batman's running around with a gun at one point. I think just firing shots.
Batman doesn't. Batman.
Yeah, the car.
Explicit in no other film, Batman has never fired a single shot from a gun because his parents were murdered with a gun.
Yeah, but he went guns blazing this time.
Which fits his character. I mean, the closest thing he gets to using a gun is in The Dark Knight Returns. He uses rubber bullets.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie. I find it so infuriating and annoying that Batman doesn't kill anybody. He always deals with the same.
I like it.
It's annoying, but that's his character belief. That's his core character. That's what makes him.
You know what? They did try to explain it, but it was like a 10-second clip of him looking at the Robin suit,
and it doesn't make sense. You only understand why if you read the comics and you're like, he used to have a Robin, and then Joker killed him,
and then that could have been how Joker was formed as well. There was loads of what they did was Zack Snyder dropped loads of hints in that suit. Apparently, there's like some shoulder wounds, and then the new Joker's Suicide Squad has those same stab wounds. So you're like,
but he's also got dead Robin on his thingy that he killed Robin.
Yeah,
it's like you can't expect people going to watch a film to read source material before they go. It has to be
absolutely.
It has to be self-contained. I hate it when people go, "Oh yeah, but you don't know. This was explained in X comic book, or this was explained in the frequently asked questions." I'm going to watch a film, okay? I don't want to read the frequently asked questions. I don't want to read this.
Did you guys feel that Batman just seemed jealous of Superman? That's how I felt.
Like, I don't know.
I want to be the savior of the world. Why is Superman the savior of the world?
That did not come across.
I also Gotham and Metropolis had like almost no distinction between them.
I think they're all the same.
Yeah. Whereas if you watch Christopher Nolan's Batman films, Gotham has a very, very distinct feel. The city, because in the Batman films, a central character in the Batman film in Batman is Gotham. Mm-hmm. Gotham is a character on its own, and Gotham is like, it's dark. It's a combination of New York and Chicago, and Metropolis is the city of hope. So there's like, it's conflicting.
It's like new and
they didn't get that across at all.
But they both look the same as each other.
Well, that was a giant problem.
Do you think this is gonna sound stupid? Do you think the film was actually too short, or it was just badly written? Or something?
It was very badly written. It was a pretty long film. It was a pretty long film as well.
I think they tried to cram too much into it.
Probably.
And that's where they missed things. And
they added unnecessary things and they cut out necessary things.
I think
Wonder Woman did not be there at all.
And I would even go that far as Lois and Superman scenes could have been cut down. I think what they should have done is portrayed this story from Batman's point of view.
Yes, that would
a lot better. And have Superman as this ultimate baddie, because that way you can
almost an antagonist. Yeah.
Because what they tried to do is they tried to build two characters up, try to understand the motivation.
Yeah.
And instead of doing a good job, you understand neither of them, and you're like, why are they fighting?
We kind of seen Superman's character in Man of Steel anyway,
but we haven't seen Batman's.
That's what I'm saying.
You're right. We didn't need it. Yeah.
The big problem is you have Christopher Nolan doing a great, masterful job with his trilogy of doing the Batman story.
So wait,
and that kind of like, ooh, Batman, I wonder what they're going to do next. But really, if you're having a new Batman, you can't have him with Superman in his first film in that incarnation.
That's one thing that was quite surprising. Why do you think that this film was so successful in terms of money?
Because of Christopher Nolan and the success of Man of Steel and the nostalgia behind it.
So do you reckon they just took that?
That's right.
I think you put Batman in any film and he'll make money.
And Superman.
You know what? I did agree, but now I'm very skeptical of DC films.
I'm very skeptical of DC films. I probably won't go to watch Justice League unless it gets very good.
Are you serious? I'll still. It's got Batman in there.
Watch it. We have to show the studios with
the thing is,
with our money. That's the only way you can do.
Even Wonder Woman, when it was coming out, I was thinking to myself.
I mean, they got pretty decent reviews, but I heard it's a pretty standard.
To be honest, I didn't watch Wonder Woman.
You know what? The reason I think it got reviewed quite highly is because they did such a crap job of what's it called? Batman vs Superman was garbage. Suicide Squad was really garbage. So when Wonder Woman was okay, they gave it 90 plus. But don't get me wrong, it was nowhere near 90 plus on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's Rotten Tomatoes. As I've discussed before, Rotten Tomatoes, Rotten Tomato reading is not an accurate measurement of how good a film is, because The Dark Knight got 96. You're telling me that 2% off. It's basically what they do is they get a percentage of critics that gave it a score. What you want to look for is the average critic score, not the Rotten Tomato meter, because if you look at Marvel to DC films, in Rotten Tomatoes, the DC films are crap. But if you look at average critic score, they're only slightly worse.
Yeah, but I don't know. I find Rotten Tomatoes is a good gauge. I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's a very rough.
I just
gauge,
take it as if it's like 60% above. I don't really look at the exact percentage. Means it's an okay film, watchable.
Yeah.
If it's below that, because they have 2 readings as well. They have critic reviews and they have
that's right,
user reviews, which between them it's probably the best site, I think.
Yeah, it's we need to do a different podcast on this, but Rotten Tomatoes has kind of like changed because people are like, oh, watch our film. We got 100% of Rotten Tomatoes, 90%. We're certified fresh, and now some people are complaining about it, but
yeah, that's the thing. You still got to mix it up with a bit of IMDb and a couple of other reviews. I was going back to, I'm skeptical of any. So in the Wonder Woman film, I waited to see the reviews, and then I actually waited for a couple of people to tell me if they thought it was good when they went to watch it. And I think I'm going to do the same thing again with Justice League.
I will as well.
And not take Hamza's opinion, because I feel like he's just going to watch anything. He'd probably go in there, watch some chick flick. They call Justice League and be like, wow.
Did anyone get reminded of the Watchmen funeral scene when Superman had his funeral scene? I felt like there was.
Kind of but the Watchmen funeral scene, it was actually very well portrayed, I thought.
It was. But did you think he?
I think
I'll have to watch him again. But do you think he recycled it?
Yeah, he just tried to copy. I think maybe Zack Snyder copied a lot of different films, and that's why the pacing of the film was really bad.
It's really fast, and then it slows down. I mean, does it even? I'll need to look into this. Does it even follow the regular 3-act structure? It's like. The acts aren't really like.
Oh, sorry. There's another bad scene I wanted to talk about as well. Is where Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne meet each other for the first time, and Lex introduces them at some random party.
And why would he know who Clark Kent is?
It's so suspicious. And from that scene, I think I've worked out that Lex obviously knows that this is blatantly Superman, and it's not like he did a very good job of hiding it. At the end of Man of Steel,
Superman likes Lois Lane. Clark Kent is going out with Lois Lane. Either Lois Lane is 2-timing Superman, or they are the same person.
Yeah, it's not even hidden. She makes out with him right at the end, in the middle of did you destroy Metropolis? They're making out. He's moved in with this random character that's just come from a farm. So anyway, I just wanted to say, and then the way Lex introduces them is like, Clark Kent, meet, what's his name? Bruce Wayne, billionaire. Why introduce me to one random
news reporter who's done nothing
unless he knew both of them.
Well, obviously he did, but it was like.
But he didn't explain how. Does he? I wasn't sure about this. Okay, he knows that Clark Kent is Superman. Does he know Bruce Wayne is Batman?
It doesn't matter.
He must know.
Probably, but it doesn't really matter. I don't think it matters.
No, it doesn't. You're right. Actually, it's a necessary scene put into the film, whereas a necessary scene could have been put in.
Did you see that comedy sketch that they did to take the piss out of that scene?
He's like, "Oh, hey, you're Superman." Hey,
he goes, "Oh yeah, take your glasses off." Oh my God, this guy's Superman.
I've seen that.
And then he's like, "Hey, take this picture."
I recommend everyone to watch that parody of Superman versus Superman and Batman, where he's like. Commissioner Gordon figures out that Clark Kent and Superman are the same person. He's like, guys, don't ruin my identity. He goes like, it takes more than a change in hairstyle. And that's his
I've seen that. I think it might be.
It's brilliant.
College Humor. Maybe?
Yeah. I mean, you gotta watch. I mean,
it's very good.
The language is a bit bad, but they're absolutely.
That was so funny. He just explained. He goes, I want to. Clark Kent's like, Superman's like, I want to team up with you, and Batman's like, why? Bullets literally bounce off.
He's like, you're. He goes, my superpower is I'm rich and nuts. He goes, yeah, but your amazing detective mind, he goes, means literally nothing when you have a man who bullets literally bounce off her. He goes, no, my main is Bane. And that straight up steroid jockhead. He broke my back. He straight up broke my back.
And the thing is, you know what? I think that scene where College Humor did that, I think that took the piss out of Batman vs Superman, because their team up doesn't make any sense. You don't understand why Batman is so
we're starting to run out of time, but Superman is a very difficult character to write for because he's perfect. Not only is he perfect morally, he's perfect physically, and that makes it really, really hard to have anyone identify with him. Can you identify with a godlike figure who's not only is he morally perfect, but he's indestructible and he can come back to life? That's why Batman is so much more interesting. Yes, he's a competent character, but he's crazy. Let's be honest with you. He has psychological problems, but you can understand.
His parents were killed.
You can understand, yes, because his parents were killed. That's right, and he's trying to do good. That's what makes. And Batman can die. Batman is like, you know, he's human and he doesn't use guns and he has some body armor. But
I think that's why Man of Steel worked quite well, because there was actually a threat to Superman's life.
Yeah, you're probably right. There was a little.
Because they were beating him down.
Yeah, but there's always that. Okay, guys, we're gonna have to call it a wrap there. Any comments? Any questions? Any improvements? Please let us know. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.
And
Thank you.
You know, type your thoughts about what you thought.
Yeah,
about
please comment.